From California Speedway, Fontana, California, ESPN Speed World is proud to present our coverage of the final race of the Kart FedEx Championship Series for 2000, the 500. Crowd's been pouring
in order to take advantage of your superior speed.
Here's ninth place Jimmy Vasser. You saw Kenny Brack go low as the yellow comes on. And Parker takes a good look to search the track.
Yeah, we can see debris up in turn 4. Actually,
an accident in turn 4, but the accident came after the yellow. And it looks to be Cristiano da Matta.
And Paul, I thought from Vasser's onboard, we actually saw debris come up and over the car as we saw the yellow come on. I thought I saw something flick across the nose there.
And part of the problem may be that Paul Tracy has damage. Looking like the whole cowling came off the car. Now, is that damage, or did that just rip away?
Well, it looks like it's missing the plenum to me, Paul. The whole top of the intake stack is gone. There's no pop-off valve. We've seen this a number of times with the Hondas in the past. They get a plenum fire, it explodes, and blows the whole top of the car off.
Now, twice this year on Penske cars we've seen that. We've not seen it there yet. Cal Wells, who is the owner of PPI and the owner of the car that Cristiano da Matta drives. And so his season for PPI is over. The indications are that he will go to Newman Haas Racing to replace Michael Andretti next year. So it looks like you called it. You can see part of the cowling laying out there. Plenum engine explosion takes the top off the car and ends Tracy's day. Gary?
That's what the report that we had, Paul. I'm not down there. I'm at the Penske pit, and they are preparing as soon as they open the pits to get stops for both Castroneves and Barron. But Tracy clearly had a problem as he came by that last time as the yellow came out.
Well, we'll have a chance here to at least take a look at it. And Paul Tracy still rolling. Looking from Cristiano's onboard.
Coming down through turn 3. You can see the debris. He runs over something. You can hear it on the onboard audio. Snaps him right up into the wall. So I have to believe. There you see the plenum explosion off the back of Paul Tracy's car. That was the debris we saw earlier from Jimmy Vasser's onboard. Catches the right side of Cristiano's car. You can see him run over the bits right here. And when you're on the limit, there is absolutely no wiggle room. These guys are on the ragged edge, and that's all it takes. Puts them hard up into the fence.
And Parker,
but the fact that he and Castroneves were running so hard side by side on those opening laps. And we've got a motor that's gone off as they came past our position.
Franchitti pulls off the edge of the course. Looks like the motor may be gone there. Tracy had the plenum explosion yesterday.
Speed then coming all the way down to the end of the pit, sliding into his spot a little bit there as Montoya didn't really hit it cleanly, but he is on the proper spot.
Oh, and we saw
on the front straightaway.
Something go behind you, you bet, Gary.
That was Mimo Gidley, I think.
Gidley slows, pulls it down off the line over in the first turn, and they go to yellow. They also put the course condition flag out for possible oil on the front straight, and the pits are now closed, but that really shouldn't matter for anyone.
Well, you want to see the mosquito abatement squad at work. Watch this. Huge blow up. Little oil fire at the back. Mimo very, very quickly gets it down off the racing line into the pit out area.
And one of the things that makes this particularly sad is the fact that Mimo Gidley probably will once again, really excellent driver, be looking for a ride, because it appears that John Della Penna and his team will not be back in this competition next year, though I think they're still hoping for something, but they seem fairly pessimistic. Jimmy Vasser out of the race. He's looking for a ride for next year too, Gary.
Well, here's a man who knows what it's like to win one of these big $1 million paydays, both as a champion and as a winner of this race in the past. What kind of problems did you encounter? Any warning at all, Jimmy?
It's going in turn 3, just went, I lost all drive, and I had no gears. The engine was still running fine. It was just some sort of final drive or gearbox thing. It's a shame. I mean, I could have led easily. I was leading easily, pulling away, and then, you know, it's a game plan, though, to try to run in the back a little bit and catch a much better fuel mileage with the draft. And but the car was good. I could go high, low, and just a matter of playing around with the car, getting in different positions to see where you wanted to be at the end, and you know, what you could do with the car. So it's just the way it goes, you know.
Jimmy,
that's okay if they're together on the track, but the more they spread apart, that information isn't going to hold.
Tony Kanaan has an engine go. Kanaan has one let go, and looks like it's going to cause some serious trouble. Cars behind him. as the oil sprayed out of that engine, and let's see who's involved. Well, there's Oriol Servia. Heavy damage to that car. But he's moving around. Thank goodness it appears that he's okay. Boy, that's no time to have an engine go. And it does, I guess, tell you how tightly some of these engines are wound. Parker, here it is.
Well, we can watch coming through start-finish line. Tony Kanaan right at the head of the picture. When that goes, he puts down a huge spray of oil behind him. And you can see both in avoidance. One car looks like one of the Newman Haas cars, doesn't it? Up to the right side. I'll look at it again here. Tony gets a good draft off Montoya and Castroneves, pulls back up in front. Motor lets go. It looked like Michael Andretti. Haven't been able to confirm that yet, but that's just what it looks like. Whoa. Oh, you can hear the debris.
Oh, boy.
From the onboard audio. 240 plus miles an hour on the way in. See one of the Penske cars that has to be DeFerrin going by on the right side of Blundell, and it is Michael Andretti that was involved early. I think now pull him around, and we do have an engine that sounds off.
And that's Mauricio Gugelmin, who was up there a moment ago and made us feel pretty good about it because he's one of the nice guys in the series, though for the most part they all are. The president of the Championship Drivers Association has been working diligently with that this year, and is costing him dearly. Jan?
Well, you're talking about Castroneves and that high line. And we
Yellow
got a yellow
just
pole.
came up. Yep, got another engine going, and it's Shinji Nakano this time. And this one involves an awful lot of fire at the back end. You were talking about those JATO boosters. That's what they would look like, only in this case it's slowing the car down. So we'll pull the yellow flag once again and slow the field down. I was going to suggest to you, and Jan, I'll be right back to you. Montoya has actually led the most laps now. Castroneves second. Montoya with 24, Castroneves with 19, and Brack also 19.
Well, here we've had a Honda let go. We've now seen Mercedes, Toyota, and Hondas go. It's Shinji Nakano and Walker Racing's version of the Batmobile.
Well, they call him Jimmy the Rocket.
There you go.
There you are. Jan Beekes, his longtime friend and neighbor in Scottsdale, Arizona, their Harley collection. So they were just nice and easy, and it's paying off here today. Boy, look at it. They split the leader again, and Blundell is in this fight. Again, Brack is a guy that's got a problem trying to get up at the front and lead these laps. Blundell's teammate, Mauricio Gugelmin, is out of the run, and right now he's with Rick DeBrule as Kenny Brack. Oh, looks like Blundell's got an engine going.
Mark, you're blowing. You get out of it.
He's just going to run it right up next to the wall. And that's the only thing a driver can do. He couldn't cut back down on the track since he's running in his own oil. The best thing you could do.
That is great. I mean, that pass you put on him was awesome.
Just as he goes into the lead, the engine lets him down, but a great bit of driving by Mark Blundell. What a way to end his career here in kart, at least for now.
And Parker, as you said many times, they tend to go real fast just before they stop going whatsoever.
Once again, we saw some heads-up driving. He had just taken the lead on the back straightaway. We can see Kenny Brack drafting down the inside. The engine lets go, and this is every driver's worst nightmare, is to be mid-corner, full throttle, have the engine let go. You can see Mark drove it right up against the wall. The best thing he could do so that if the car started to get away from him, he could just grind the speed down, going parallel with the wall and not take a big hit.
Here's the whole deal as Brack goes to the inside. Blundell splits to the outside of Castroneves. Blundell goes to the lead. I'll bet Kenny Brack will never be so thankful that he decided the lower line going into 3 was a little bit better idea.
And you can see Mark hanging on. The car was actually a little bit loose coming off too. Brack picks up the draft, Blundell staying with him, and then the thing lets go. That's too bad. Very, very nice man. Last one here back in 1997. He's given Motorola Pac West a great run, and he did a great bit of driving there.
In the Rahal pits, they've laid out for a possible appearance by Max Papis. You saw Carpentier pull low and off the course. He's going for a routine stop.
He may have some gearbox problems, we hear, Paul.
Oh, yeah, they're at the back of the car now. Gil DeFerrin, as he's coming up to speed. And Kenny Brack slows. Kenny Brack slows down. Kenny Brack slows on the backstretch. It's a long way to the pits. The crew is there.
It's running. It's just like yesterday when the turbo blew. It's running, but it's not. It's running, but it's not running. All right.
It does not seem likely for Adrian Fernandez.
Well, and the necessary fuel that we saw prior to this pit stop.
Whoa! Looks like Papis.
Papis, I think you're right, Paul. Yep.
Yellow came out. Something broken there.
Well, it looks like the rear tires are very shiny right now, Paul.
It was smoking when it came by end of pit road.
Oh, it was. Then, and it's smoking there.
Yep, you can see him down low there on the white line. Yahoo! Little Joey Chitwood action. Max showing off for the fans here.
Wow.
Wow, that was a great recovery.
Christian Fittipaldi and Alex Tagliani, I don't think, like that all that much, but there was nothing Max could do about it. He did a beautiful job of saving that race car. And, well, when you put water on an already hot engine that's already blowing, it does tend to steam.
You have to have perfect timing to have that come out straight ahead. He snapped in full opposite lock as it came around. He got the steering back out, kept the clutch in, stayed off the brake, kept the wheels rolling. Nice recovery.
Okay, and as Jourdain closes in, been a 53 official lead changes, and now 4.
Look at that. Alex Barron back by Jourdain.
Oh.
Jourdain takes the lead for a moment, then Alex Barron comes out to the front.
But you notice now.
Oh, I just heard an engine go off. Was that Jourdain's? We saw him just drop off the screen there. It looks like Mercedes-Benz may be going out of the series with a bang, Paul.
Well, Jourdain is still rolling.
No, but
Roll off the speed.
No, his engine's definitely off song, Paul.
Yeah, he's losing miles an hour in revs very quickly.
You can hear kind of a funny sound, almost like a header type deal, but not that pronounced as he went by us, guys.
We were talking to Parker about Fernandez and turning up the wick, but him not going anywhere. But that can be horsepower. It also Montoya. And that's going to bring out the yellow. And that's going to bring it into range for the pit. Oh, it's changing again. Montoya has an engine go. Attrition has been an incredible factor. It brings us now down to only 9 cars actually left running as we go to the final miles and laps of this race in the battle for the championship. Chip Ganassi, the car owner. Oh, he's a happy puppy. Has announced.
Oh, big smoke. Oh, to spin. Castroneves going into 1, into 2. The engine let go. He got in the oil, backed in hard on the outside wall.
So Elio Castroneves, after an incredible run and a pretty good shot, as Montoya suggested, at the win here today, has the engine go. And what does that say about DeFerrin's engine?
Well, it's all about engines at this point, Paul. We've seen each manufacturer let go. Now, DeFerrin, the last of the Honda contenders.
Castroneves appears to be okay. Let's look at what happened.
I was watching him coming down into the corner, watching how Moreno and Castroneves were going to work the line. You could see the smoke at the back. The oil hits the rear tires. Castroneves simply a passenger. Big impact, flash fire at the back of the car. Watch it one more time. Moreno running. Castroneves up high. That's not been a problem, but it's the oil on the rear tires. They entered there. I guarantee you they've got these cars trimmed out. They were flat out into that first corner, well over 240 miles an hour. As I said earlier, when the engine lets go mid-corner, it's every driver's worst nightmare because all of a sudden you lose the load on the back of the tires. Corner entry is no better, though. Fortunately, he hits at a fairly good angle, the back of the car absorbing the majority of the impact, which is exactly how you want to get in. So you've got all that crushable space, not getting into your survival cell into the cockpit.
An enormous hit for Elio Castroneves, the safety team right there, and they're going to take a little time to make sure he gets out safely. That engine just lit up and slammed the back end almost at right angles into the wall, and that's an awful lot of energy transferring through the components in the back, the gearbox and the engine itself transferring through to the driver. We'll be back. Other engines go. He knows certainly that his may in fact be vulnerable. And another engine goes, and this time it's Barron.
Stay high, stay high.
Everybody comes through the area in front of the start-finish line, and it stays green. No, now it goes yellow. Barron gets it off the track right at the end of the pit road, and I've got to tell you, as Fernandez came across the line right behind that, he was on his brakes so hard that they were glowing bright red across the line. The front brakes were just simply glowing. It was plainly visible. Here it is, just before the line.
Moreno goes through.
Wisely, Barron, and skillfully gets it down. Does that somewhat dangerous transition between the bank and the flat of the warm-up lane. And to the $1 million potentially for Fittipaldi for winning the race. 2 to go for his first championship. And the $1 million to the fair. And we've got a car spinning. A car into the wall.
Tagliani.
He had an engine let go just before it. It looks like the game may be totally over. Tagliani catches the wall. That was after he got around de Ferran. It looks like Christian Fittipaldi is going to score win number 2 of this 2000 season. They are still working at Alex Tagliani's car after this accident that brought out the yellow and ended the race. Rick DeBrule?
Well, the team doesn't have a lot of information. The one thing they were saying is right before it happened, he said, I'm going to win this race. I've got the car. The situation obviously was going for it. Whether that had anything to do with this or whether it was simply an engine letting go or something else, that's something else.
Well, it sure looked like an engine letting go to us.
Yeah, we could see the engine let go, oil the rear tires. The difference between that and Max Papis' accident, it happened a little earlier in the corner for Tagliani. The momentum, instead of bringing him around towards the middle of the track like Max, sent him up into the wall where he made heavy contact.
For a little while longer, but I don't see anything that should be contested. Christian Fittipaldi has scored his second victory, followed by Moreno. Gil de Ferran takes the point to the pole, finishes third, and wins the championship. We're still waiting for any further details on the condition of driver Alex Tagliani. We'll wait to get anything officially, but the first report was that he did have injuries, but that they were not life-threatening. There are the unofficial results complete then for the running of the 500 at California Speedway.